Hi guys, so today we are going to do another video we haven't done in a long time. Seems to be a reoccurring theme with me lately. And that's another Q&A. So I asked you on Instagram to send me some questions, which you did. Thank you. You guys are awesome. There were a lot though. So we're just going to sit down and chat. So go pour a cup of tea or whatever your drink of choice is, and let's get into it. Not sure what this was, but anyway. There were a lot of common denominator questions in terms of certain topics. So I want to address those first. A lot of you, there were like 4 top topics. One of them was about Chris, how we met, how's it going, what the future holds, a lot of stuff about Chris. What I will tell you, how we met, if you don't know, which I'm surprised we haven't actually told you on here how we met. We met judging YAGP. That is how we met several years ago. And I think it was Denver. And just sort of stayed friends for a while because I was going through stuff and he was doing, just life, just friends first. Just kind of kept in touch, nothing crazy. And I went to teach for his parents' studio for a summer. His parents own a ballet school. And we just sort of started talking more. Then it was YAGP of 2019 that we reconnected because we really didn't see much of each other. It was sort of one of those like through the business casual relationships that you see people every 6 months kind of thing. Then after YAGP of last year, 2019, we were judging together in Dallas. And we kind of hit it off that weekend, and we followed each other around and just sort of, And then I went back to teach for his parents the following summer of last year, of July of 2019. And we had a day off. The way his parents' summer course works is each teacher gets one day off. We had the same day off, so we decided to go to Disneyland because it's in California. We had decided to do that anyway. But that day turned into the first date. Sort of halfway through the day, we were sort of on the hamster wheel of, is this going to happen? Is this not going to happen? Is it going to happen? Not going to happen. And it was finally like, okay. He said, I think he turned to me and he was like, okay, can we please call this a date? Like, I think you're feeling this too. And I was like, yeah. And that was it. So, dating since summer of last year. So it's been about 1.5 years now. A lot of you want to know future stuff. A lot of you want to know, are you guys getting married? You guys gonna have kids? We keep our relationship pretty private. If big things happen, I will tell you. Everything is wonderful. We are headed in the right direction. We are headed down a good path. He is a gem, as I think you all know. One of the things that I love is that every time he's on this channel, you guys have nothing but good things to say. You guys love him, which was not always the case last time. Not about him. We're going to leave longtime followers. We're going to leave that there. But you always have good things to say about him every time since the first video. And so I think you guys can see, I knew what to look for this time. I knew what the warning signs for things. And one of the things about him that means everything to me is his loyalty. Chris is loyal to a fault. And that was priority number 1, considering last time. So, yeah, but he's a gem. And I think he's sort of the male version of me. And so that we get along beautifully. It sometimes presents okay, we think the same. Let's think about this in a different way. But, he just seems right, and he lives and dies for sort of what I do, encouraging the younger generation. I've seen him teach. He's in this business too, which is so nice because especially when I was in Miami, I could call him up and say, da-da-da, happened rehearsal in the ballet master and da-da-da. And I didn't have to sit there and go, okay, a ballet master is the person who's at the front of the rehearsal, and a rehearsal, you know what I mean? Like, he knew right away. He's been in this business. A lot of people didn't even know we were dating for a while. The first time I came to visit him here in Salt Lake, he was still dancing at the time. He was rehearsing Prodigal. And we had time off. Oh, it was the hurricane. I was evacuated. Florida had a hurricane, and I evacuated to Salt Lake. So I came to visit him for the first time. And people, other than our close friends, people really didn't know we were dating. And it was hysterical because I walked in to Ballet West Studios, and everybody was like, why is Kathryn Morgan here? Why is she here? Like, it sent confusion because he hadn't told anybody, because we don't keep stuff secret. We just keep it private. We don't hide anything, but we don't just like, what, But if big things happen, I'm sure you'll know about it. We're heading in the right direction, and things are lovely. So I'm going to leave it there. The other big question you guys asked me, which is so lovely of you, is how are you doing? How's life now? You want to know more about Kathryn Morgan and Friends, my project that I detailed, the idea I had in the big Miami tell-all video. I've already hired a team. We're on it. So it's a matter of when. It's not if. It's going to happen, and I am over the moon about it because I think it's going to really be a wonderful, joyful thing. I've hired a team. 2 of my wonderful, wonderful women in this business who have stood by me for the last several years, who have proven that they're loyal as well. I trust them completely, and have had their own struggles in the ballet industry. So we are on it, you guys. It's going to happen. I'll do a separate video about Kathryn Morgan and Friends once we're a little further along and I have more concrete details to give you and how you can be a part of it. That's coming, but it's happening. Okay, the third biggest topic that I got from a lot of you, which understandably, is how to stay motivated during COVID, how to stay motivated while we're all at home. Things are still up in the air. Cases are skyrocketing again. I know the UK, you guys are going on lockdown. And so I know this is not ending anytime soon. And so one of the things, you guys, about COVID during this time, speaking from my own perspective and doing my own training, I really can only get into a studio once a week. When Chris is coaching young ones for YGP, I just work in the next studio, which is when I can film Aurora and Dewdrop and all that stuff, or any bars I do on here. One of the things that I've started to do that I've never been able to do before is focus more on basics and bar. Gone back to the drawing board, gone back to, okay, let's do basic point work. Let's do basic bar. Because when do we get a chance to go back to square one and start again and build technique and build strength and build all of these things that during a high performance season, during Nutcracker season, Lord knows, that you don't get a chance to focus on. I mean, honestly, I feel like I've gotten stronger simply by going back to basics and doing basic point work, tendu and first. Anybody who takes my online classes, we don't leave the bar in point shoes, even in the advanced class. And it just gives you a chance to focus on things you normally wouldn't have. So that's my first tip for all of you. During this time, reframe your thinking and use it as an opportunity. Don't use it as, oh, I'm going to lose everything and da-da-da-da. You might find that once you go back in the studio, if you are focusing on basics, if you are focusing on proper technique and fixing bad habits, you might find you come back better. Honestly, we've been doing a lot of releves in my online classes that just on flat releves. They're all going, yes, we have. And I have found in terms of jumping, I like the once a week jumping that I do, it doesn't hurt. I don't get injured. It's fine. And it's there because I have gone back to doing basic releves. So you're not going to lose everything if you reframe your brain. So start focusing on those basics. Start focusing on bar work. Do the bar with no bar, that kind of thing. This is the time to do that. You can't do that in the midst of a heavy Nutcracker season. You can't do that when you get short bars and have to get to the center. So simply refocus and do what you can right now. You don't have to go for broke. Refocus, go back to basics. And if you start thinking like that, it's going to get a lot easier. The other thing I want to touch on during this time, this is a time of reflection. I feel like some of us, not being able to perform, not being able to go into the studio, or even if you're not a dancer, doing what you love or having to sort of switch your priorities. People are starting to realize what their priorities are. If you during this time find out that you no longer love ballet, guess what? That's okay. That's okay. So many professionals are sort of going, yeah, I'm not going back, and they're retiring because they're starting to realize that they have other interests, that they have other desires, that they have other things they want to do in life. So remember, ballet is not the be-all, end-all. It's not. So if you find that, you know what, I don't love this anymore. I can't do this anymore. When COVID ends, I don't want to go back into a studio. Guess what? You are not a failure. You are just figuring out who you are. You are figuring out what you love, you are figuring out what you don't love, and you are figuring out your priorities. So view this time as a chance to figure out if this is something you really want to do. Or if it's just a recreational love, that's totally fine. Back it down when you get back. Only go a couple of times a week, especially if you're an adult. Or if you're an adult and you are loving it, which I love my adult online students. You guys are amazing. I have some who are with me online every day, which has made my life. I love you guys. You know, figure out if this is something you love or don't love or can just simply appreciate. You know, you don't have to go back to it. Use this time to refocus your priorities. If you sit at home and panic and stew and, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose everything and I hate my life, you're not going to come out of this stronger. The way to come out of it is just simply to reframe your brain and find your priorities and go back to basics. Honestly, that's the short answer. Okay, the other big topic that you guys truly kept writing me, understandably, since that big video that I did is mental health. Mental health in ballet, body image in ballet, and I think that deserves its own video. So many of you say you're struggling with it. So many of you want to overcome it. So many of you, how do I deal with this? How do I, go through this? I could talk about that for a half an hour. And I don't, that's a serious topic that's exceedingly important to me, and I don't want to just touch it in a Q&A. I think I should do a separate video on not just addressing it, because I think we've already addressed it. We know it exists in the ballet world, obviously, but talking about how to overcome it and the steps you can take to overcome it. I want to give that the attention it deserves. So we will talk about that. Okay. A lot of you, funnily enough, you always ask me what my favorite ballet is, what my favorite variation is. Juliet, we know that. A couple of you said, what is your least favorite ballet and least favorite variation? I feel like there are no ballets that I absolutely hate. There are ballets that I don't really ever want to do again that were kind of flops at New York City Ballet that we all kind of were like, yeah, this is bad. So, everybody has a flop of a ballet. It's ballets you wouldn't know. In terms of love-hate relationships with a variation that I would love to cut out is Act 1 of Beauty. That da-da, da-da. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, can we move on, please? Like, just that variation used to give me nightmares. The Rosadage, hard, fine. But at least you're with the other boys and they can help you through it. And that variation is like 3 minutes and you are out there by yourself and everybody's on the side like, can't help you. That's my favorite part of that is it's such a hard variation and the boys are standing there like, they're not like you are alone. And so it's so hard. All those pirouettes, the diagonal, the fourth pirouette, there's 4 of them. We did a version with a double manège at the end. So you go around twice. You do ballet speak. If you're not a dancer, just smile and nod. But ballet speak, you do double manège. You do first around with coupe jeté, and then you do piqué turn and piqué turn and piqué turn. So you go around twice. By the end, you cannot see the lights. You're like, please, dear God, let me just stay standing. Like, if we could cut Act 1 variation from Sleeping Beauty, it would be a whole new ballet for me, like a whole new ballet. That one was one that I dreaded every time I did it. The other one that was always really hard for me, love-hate relationship, is Balanchine's Marzipan. And anybody who's done it knows it's exceedingly technically difficult because it's all hit or miss. Like there's no in between. There's hops on point and attitude turning. There's pirouette to the knee. There's 4 gargliades. Like it's a nightmare of challenge for me, especially somebody who's not a technical specialist, as I like to say. So that was one. I was probably more nervous for Marzipan than either Sugar or Dewdrop. Seriously. Like Balanchine's Marzipan, and anybody who's done it is going, yes. So it's just very, very thankless. So that brings me to another question. Which is your favorite, Sugarplum or Dewdrop? Well, I think it depended on the day. Dewdrop is one of those things that's nice because it's 5 entrances, so it's very well paced. And you sparkle, you glitter, and you're done kind of thing. And it sort of has everything in it. Sugarplum is very grand. I love the pas de deux, but that's another one that variation is like 4 days long, and you're just like, all right, we're good. We get it. Like, what's nice in the Balanchine Nutcracker, which is the version I've done many, many, many times, is the variations at the top of Act 1. So you do the variation, done. Change your costumes, and then all you have to do is pas de deux and coda. where in the classical version, which is way harder, is pas de deux, variation, variation, coda. And when I've done that on gigs, it's a rude awakening. Having to do that pas de deux into that 3-minute variation, into the it's like, as my dear friend, hi Jenna, she's the first soloist with Ballet West. She goes, 12 minutes of my life. It's 12 minutes of my life. I just got to get through 12 minutes of my life. And I'm like, yeah, that's good, Jenna. Wait, yeah. It's a hard 12 minutes. It really is. Because literally the boy is standing there like, like his solo is what, 40 seconds? And so by the time, he's like getting cold because her variation is so long. But I will say, we get our revenge during Bluebird in Sleeping Beauty. If you've ever heard this, Bluebird is often called Sugarplum's revenge because it's the opposite. The girl variation is like, ding, dun, that's like 40 seconds. And the boy is like dying doing all the jumps. So we get our revenge during Sleeping Beauty. But I would say I love the pas de deux of Sugarplum, but Dewdrop is such a joy. I love Dewdrop. Okay, any tips? A lot of you want tips for video auditions and Zoom auditions, which kind of seem to be a thing this year. That's going to be a separate video, and I'm going to do it soon because I know a lot of you have to do them. Off the top of my head, for video auditions and for Zoom auditions, anything where you are a two-dimensional screen, clean hair, clean tights, clean leotard, anything that hides you, anything that is in the way is very distracting on camera. Very, very distracting. So super clean. If you possibly can, I know it's hard, have a well-lit studio or a well-lit room. You can buy cheap lights on Amazon if you have to audition on Zoom. It's so worth it because you don't want them you want them to be able to see you immediately. In terms of a video, most schools and companies tell you exactly what they expect. Bar on one side, bar on both sides, this in the center, this, and this. Do it to the letter as they've said, because that is a test. It is a test. Can you read and follow directions? Are you easy to work with? So if there is a specific thing given to you, I don't care how you feel about it, do it. Do it exactly the way they say. But you also have to remember the tricky part about video auditions, you guys, is they can fast forward. They might be like 2 minutes in, okay, next. So like an in-person audition, make sure the first step you do is the best you can make it. Be alive, be present, because you want to capture their interest. You don't want them fast forwarding. You don't want to be like, oh, okay, next. Just because you shoot a 20-minute video doesn't mean they're watching all of it. So try and make every moment count. That's why cleanliness counts. And upper body right away in pliés, show the artistry, because that's how you capture their attention. And do it exactly as they say. And for Zoom, it's sort of the same thing. Nice lighting, if you possibly can, very clean. Really listen. I know on Zoom there's a delay, but really listen to what they're asking. Those are just some quick tips, but we'll do a more in-depth video if you like. What do you think about adults doing ballet? I love adults doing ballet. You guys know that. My adult students give me so much joy because here's why, you guys, and this is going to sound a little bit not harsh, but reality is adults make their own choices. And anytime an adult is taking a ballet class, it's because they want to be there. They have paid for it. They want to be there. They want to learn. That's why I think teachers who don't take adults seriously or just think they're there for, whatever. No, adults are there because they want to be. They want to learn. Please, teachers, take them seriously. They don't have a parent saying, touching my mic. They don't have a parent making them go to class. I'm not saying that young students do, but I'm saying they have made that choice to be there. And so adults are some of the hardest working ballet students out there because they have made the choice to be there. So I love when adults take ballet. I really do. I think it's awesome. Favorite costume? Any of the Aurora tutus? Some of the Juliet dresses, anything. Oh, you know what? Another one is the one I wore, I don't have a picture, unfortunately, of Ballet Imperial, which we called Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto Number 2. The old costumes, they've since redone them, but the old costumes, the one I did was like light blue with like a tiara, a necklace, the earrings. Like, you talk about decked out in jewels and flowing. We know how I like a dress, flowy dress, gorgeous. I felt like a queen in that costume. I really did. Favorite Disney princess? Belle, because probably, I mean, I loved the old classics. I loved Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, but Beauty and the Beast came out when I was 3 or 4. So that's right at the age where I could like remember it and latch onto it. I think Little Mermaid came out when I was 1 year old. And so at that point, it's not a really, you can't latch onto it yet. But when you're 3 or 4 and a Disney freak and there's a new princess who has your hair color, it was like, okay. It's also probably, I'd say that was my favorite Disney movie too. Still, is Beauty and the Beast. And I liked the live action. I really did. I don't like all the live actions that went out. But I really liked Beauty and the Beast live action. I really did. I thought it was very beautifully done, beautifully shot. The great story, like at the end when they're all about to turn into objects and saying goodbye to each other, I was like crying. I mean, I thought it was beautifully done. Okay, what are your core values as a person and as a dancer? Well, as a person, honestly, you guys, it's loyalty and being genuine and trying to help other people. You know, that's what I try to do as a dancer too. You know, as wonderful as it was, which I've said before, which as wonderful as it was to be in a tiara, doing Aurora, doing Juliet, that's not what I'm most proud of in terms of my career. What I'm most proud of is being the one that's honest, being the one that hopefully paves this new path, kind of knowing who I am and what I stand for and not being ashamed of it, that kind of thing, and just being true. I think as you get older, you start to learn who you are and own it, you know, be you. And so for me, it's just genuine. I can't do fake. I don't have time for. I don't know. That's why I'm like, hey y'all, you know. So I try and be genuine on here. I try and be genuine in the studio. I try and be genuine as a person. You know, on stage, I try not to put on airs. I try and just be me, sort of the same thing. But loyalty, decency, quite frankly, why can't we just all be kind to each other and accepting of each other? I don't understand this whole, I don't know, like what happened to decency? Like, can we please get back to decency? I don't know, building each other up instead of tearing each other down. Honestly, you know, and for me, it's I think back, you know, even my dad always says this to me. He's like, what are you leaving behind? You know, you don't leave behind tiaras and tutus. You leave behind the legacy, hopefully the inspiration, giving a voice to people who can't, that kind of thing. And that's sort of, in the last few years, I've found my direction with that. Because when I started YouTube, if you go back and watch old videos, sometimes I was trying to be something I wasn't. Hey guys, and da-da-da, and wearing like eyeshadow and different color nails and, you know, the whole thing, trying to be a YouTuber. And now I'm like, I know what I like now. I try to just look like me. I try to not put on airs and I try and be very open. And so if you're young, you'll find this as you go. I mean, I was even thinking about this the other day. 28 when I got married to now 32, I've really become who I am. And I think then even as well, I was trying to be something I wasn't. I was trying to fit in. I was trying to do all the, you know, now I've found my niche, however you want to say it. And I think there's a value in just people being themselves and being you and owning your strengths and owning your weaknesses, you know. I think there's a huge value in that, and being loyal and just not trying to be something you're not. Don't try and be something you're not, truly. Be you and accept other people for who they are. Another one you all want to know, I know, I've said it a million times and I know you want it, which is my adoption story. You want the adoption video. I have no qualms in telling you the adoption story. However, my father, if you watched the video that I did with his interview, has asked me not to tell it simply because he is writing a book that will include it. And I think that's more appropriate for you guys to hear it from his perspective rather than mine. I was 6 weeks old. I don't remember. So I feel like that is my parents' story to tell and my dad's story to tell. He is working on a book that is sort of what it's like to be a father of a dancer and sort of my career from his perspective and ballet from a dad's perspective who is clueless. You know, he is writing that kind of book, not a mother's point of view, a father's point of view who is clueless. So, but he is going to include the adoption story within that. So he has asked me to just hold off on it, which I find, I mean, I think it's more of their story to tell than mine. So that is why I haven't told you. It's not because I don't want to. It's not because I'm hiding it. It's simply because he has asked me to hold off because he is going to tell it. Okay. Oh, this is going to be long. Oh, well. We just chat. It's going to be long. Go pause and refill your drink if you need to. Okay. A lot of you want to know if I'm going to vlog again. I can see myself getting back to vlogging in some capacity. I don't know if it's going to be as personal. You have to remember, when it comes to me and my own career and anything ballet, I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything. Yeah, this is what went down. This is what I thought. This is what happened. I will tell you anything. When it comes to the other people in my life, I'm a little more cautious. You know, every video I've done on here with Chris, it's been his idea or things he's wanted to do. And he has ideas for more too. You're going to see him again soon. But it's not because I've been like, oh, I want to do a video. Like, he's genuinely behind and proud of every time he's on here. Kind of the same thing with my parents. My mom doesn't like to be on camera. That's why you've never seen her. I did a podcast with her once, and she's agreed to maybe do another chat. We'll see if we can get her on camera, but I don't ever want to pressure her. Dad agreed to do that interview. When I interviewed him, it was his idea. So I always want to make sure the people in my life are 100% okay with sharing. Because when it's just me, I don't care. Like, whatever. I'm an open book. I've been an open book since we started this. Fine. But when it involves other people, I like to be respectful. In terms of vlogging, I can absolutely guarantee you I will be vlogging the process of Kathryn Morgan and Friends, any trips that we do with that, any shows that we do with that, backstage, In terms of personal life, we'll see. I'm not ruling it out, but I just would need to make sure everybody's on board and that it's, you know, things we want to share. I can maybe vlog if it's just me. We'll see. Not that Chris is opposed, but I just, you know, I'm just more concerned because we have made it a point, especially when we started dating, to just keep things to ourselves for now. You know, yeah, I'm on here sharing a lot, but I don't share every part of my life every second of the day. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of vlogging, yes, it'll happen. I don't know in what capacity, but definitely with career things. For sure. For sure. How are the pups? They're great. They're great. My parents have them in Alabama. They have the yard. They have now officially created a doggy door in their house so the girls go in and out. Carson is still kicking. He is 10 now. 12, yeah, 10. Carson is 10, and he's still like a little puppy. That little dog is hanging in there. Dixie is Dixie. Dixie has turned into, they've both turned into very sweet dogs. You know, it's funny because animals can't lie. Animals can't talk, but you know, like, it's obvious. Like, they have become, since getting out of the situation we were in, different dogs. They're calmer, they're sweeter, they're not as, like, Dixie was constantly on the defense. She has become the guard dog. She does, like, run out into the yard and, like, survey, and on the walks has to be in front. And, you know, anytime there's another dog, she goes to protect my mom. Or if someone comes in the house, she goes to protect my mom. If Luna gets a little nuts, because we know she does, she goes to protect mom. So Dixie is the protector, and sweet as can be. Luna's still Luna, Looney Tunes. Luna apparently was barking at an empty shelf. Luna digs holes in the yard for no reason. There's nothing in the hole. She just digs. She doesn't understand that squirrels run up the tree. She doesn't get why, you know, she's like, meh. So Luna's still Luna. still splayed on the sofa. But they are very happy, very healthy, and they are with my parents now. And I don't think my parents are giving them back. I think they're happy. They have fallen in love with them. And honestly, I wouldn't want to uproot the girls again from the time that I did last time, because it was an overnight uproot. Honestly, we got out very fast of that situation, and they were like for a long time. And so now they're happy and calm, and they have their little routine. And, you know, Carson and Luna are like buds. Dixie's kind of the odd man out, but they're happy, and I would never want to take that from them. And they're very healthy. Okay, the last question you guys asked, how am I doing since the video of Miami? You know, the best way to describe doing that video, I know I really haven't said much more other than the post I did on Facebook and Instagram, the follow-up post, because I had to address some things. You know the scene in Tangled where she's like, I'm having so much fun. I'm the worst daughter ever. This is so fun. I'm a terrible child. That's how I was for that video for a few days. I'm so glad I did it. I shouldn't have done it. I'm so glad I did it. Why did I do that? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done it. That scene was me about that video. But, you know, I truly went back and forth until other people started speaking out. Because the reason I did it in the first place, to be quite frank with you, was never to take down Miami City Ballet. That's not, you know me, I'm not there to take people down. I just wanted to be honest. I just wanted to tell you what happened. I just wanted to let you guys know why I wasn't dancing and why I wasn't cast last season. You know, I, again, pride myself on being open with you. And so I sort of was like, okay, and rumors had started that I was fired. So I was like, okay, let's put the rumors to bed. Let's be honest. Let's address this topic. And you know, it took me 6 months to do it, but I'm very glad that I did. And it was simply about being honest and sharing. I did not anticipate that it was going to turn into a movement. I did not anticipate that so many other professionals were going to speak out. Many from Miami, former Miami dancers, and former professionals in other companies sharing their stories. And the messages I got and the support I got was mind-blowing to me. That was never in the back of my mind that was going to happen. I just wanted to clear the air and move forward. Because truly, I thought for a while I was going to let you guys down. I thought, and I am a failure. Here we go again. I made this whole thing about getting into the company and now I'm done. And so I really felt a lot of the times like, well, maybe I am crazy. But hearing everybody else's story was very validating. It was very eye-opening to how badly we've needed to talk about that in the ballet world, because we have been led to believe the ballet world is different. You know, a couple of us have stood up and said, oh, we're different body types, so the ballet world has changed. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. And the amount of the outpouring of stories that I heard were heartbreaking, and really was like, okay, I needed to do that video. We need to talk about this. We needed to start the conversation. So it was worth it to me. And I did ask myself, which I've said in some interviews since, I had to, before I clicked post, I had to say, okay, worst case scenario, if every ballet company director blacklists you and blackballs you and refuses to hire you, and everybody in the ballet artistic director field across the board, if they will not hire you, are you okay with that? And I think for the first time in my life, I was fine. I said, you know what? If I don't ever get in a company again, I'm going to be okay. Because I have what I've built with you guys. I have everything else. It is far more important to me to be outspoken and to hopefully give a voice to people who don't have it than to be Aurora on the stage. Truly. So I went, okay, you know what? I'm okay with that. I have nothing to lose, because so many dancers don't speak out because they have something to lose. Their careers are on the line. They will not get another job, you know, so they either don't speak out or speak out once they've retired, and then it's too late. So I'm very happy that I did that video, and I am very honored by everybody who felt they could share their story as well. So props to you guys. And since that video, which a lot of you have kind of been saying over the last couple that I've posted, a massive weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. I carried that around for 6 months with you guys. That's why I sort of was off YouTube for a little bit. during pandemic, I sort of did some classes, but really didn't talk to you because there was this cloud hanging over my head and the shadow of what are they going to think? And I let people down. And the weight that has been lifted off is indescribable. And for the first time in my entire career, I feel like I am right where I'm supposed to be. I am very excited about the path ahead with Kathryn Morgan and Friends, with other things I have in the works. I've never felt this, I don't even know what the word is, empowered, maybe, that I did the right thing, empowered to be in the position that I am, self-assured to be in the position that I am, and knowing that I can still have an amazing career on my own terms and not having to please or try and fit a mold or whatever. It's just been very empowering and very, I can breathe again because now we can move forward. And this project, like I said, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of pandemic and logistics, and it's going to happen. So I'm just so grateful, and I'm so grateful to all of you for the support and the outpouring of love. And I mean, far and away outweighed any bad comments I got. Far and away. I mean, it was like, I couldn't believe it. So huge, huge thank you. And how am I doing? I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. I have nothing to complain about. I have nothing to, you know, I can move forward now. I can forge ahead and keep doing what I'm doing because I think I'm on the right track. I really do. So that's how I'm doing. So thank you guys for asking. A lot of you asked how I was doing. So that's very, very sweet of you. So anyway, this is long. Okay, well, that's all right. Hopefully you got a refill on your drinks. So anyway, you guys, I love sitting here and chatting with you. This is fun. We'll do another video on the mental health. We'll do a video on the audition tape. You know, even going back and doing that video about my dance bag, I should maybe redo some of the old stuff and update you, like the leotard collection, like how I sew my point shoes. If there's any of the old content you want an updated version of, leave me a comment in the box below. If you missed that video of Dewdrop, actually, that was 2 videos ago, right there, you can click it to watch. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.